Well, here I am in the sewing room, and thought I would do a little reading, see what comes up. I'm going to start with these cards here, which I haven't used in a long time, called the Akashic Tarot, because I've been thinking a lot about my reading yesterday about ancestral healing, and I thought maybe it'd be a good time to look at the Akashic records. So we'll see what comes out with these cards here. They have to do with ancestral healing, what we can do to help move ourselves into the area of healing our ancestral lineage so that the future generations that come after us do not have to deal with it. Okay, the first card that I picked here is the Queen of Roses. Queen of Roses. And we'll keep going. Queen of Roses, female. I'm going to say like the Queen of Hearts. Love. And then with that, we've got two cards that came out. The King of Forces. So we have male and female here. The King of Forces, he looks like very earthy individual. A lot of magic happening around him. And then we have Archangel Raphael. Well, Archangel Raphael is the angel of healing. That's very interesting, isn't it? So we have male and female lineage. The female has to do with heart and love. The male with earthly things, magic. And then Archangel Raphael, who is angel of healing. And if you look at this card here, his heart is aglow with love. He's holding that green orb in his hand, offering us love. Very, very interesting. So male and female, love, healing. That's all I'm going to do with these cards here. I think I'll, these Akashic Tarot are from Sandra Ann Taylor, and I guess the artwork must be by Sharon Ann Klinger. And I picked that because the energy cards that I always use are from Sandra Ann Taylor also. So I'm going to pick an energy card to go along with what I just did here. See how it plays out. I didn't shuffle my cards beforehand. This is a spontaneous I'm having a hard time forming my words today. Spontaneous reading. Okay. Akashic records, ancestral healing, female, male. And the Archangel Raphael. What kind of healing? Or what will it take to help us? Well, yesterday we decided what it would take was just love. we got another archangel here, Angel Shamiel, third chakra, the solar plexus, which is the seat of our power right here in the center of our body, also known as the second brain. Some would argue it is the first brain. It is our gut instincts. So we have two angels here helping us to move forward with healing. And then the card that came out next, which is probably deceit. Deceit. I want you to look at that card and look at that man. I see this card, I look at this card, and this person looks very ill. Very ill to me. Very, very dark rings around his eyes, and he's clasping very strongly to something. It's hard for me to tell. He's holding very tightly onto what looks like to be it's a box, and there's money coming out of that box. So deceit. It's kind of like the card I pulled the other day, the man holding the coin. And to me, that card was not a positive card. It usually can be a positive card, but in that reading, it came out being money, greed, power, corruption. Contract. Contract. We signed up when we came here to Earth. We signed up for a contract that we made with the energy source. And I guess as soon as we get here, we pretty much forget what the contract was that we signed up for. You can see that she has a blindfold on, so she no longer sees what it is that she signed up for when she came here. And then we have a lot of books and the scales. So knowledge, you know, there's knowledge, there's hidden knowledge. And the scales are a little bit imbalanced. So, scales are a little bit imbalanced. She's not seeing, she doesn't remember what it was that she came here, her contract that she signed when she came to Earth, what it was that she was going to do and accomplish. Very interesting. We've got angels surrounding this. Pick another energy card. Action. So this is a reading about the Akashic records, ancestral healing, what it is that we need to do to get to that ancestral healing. And then we have some angels surrounding us. We have male and female both here, ancestors. And that there was a contract that we came in that we're obligated to, but we soon forgot. But there's some deceit going on around here with secrets. Lord knows, a lot of secrets. You know, back in the old days, people wouldn't talk about the skeletons in their closets. People nowadays are a little bit more forthcoming about their skeletons and will freely talk to you about them. That's kind of a good thing, because we don't want skeleton in the closets. So we will never know what those skeletons were that we are trying to clear and clean up, the ancestral baggage that has followed generations and generations down the line. But here it says action, so we have to take some kind of action. We have a light horse and a dark horse here, so we could say that it's shadow and dark. I mean, shadow and light there. The light is leading the way, the shadow is following. So we have to take some kind of action with the contract that we made in clearing up whatever took place in the past that has followed generations down the lines. We do have healing here. It's showing that there is healing that can occur. And we also have the Archangel Shamiel, who's our solar plexus. And so in our guts, I guess in our gut, the knowledge is there. The stuff from the ancestral lineage, the skeletons in the closet that we don't remember, it is in our bodies. It is there. It's in our guts. We came into this earth with a contract, and was our contract to clear those things so that future generations could move on without having those ties to hold them back? Deceit. The deceit for me is the secrets that have been kept from family to family to family. I heard a story a long time ago. I never knew if it was really true, but my grandma on my dad's side of the family, that she wasn't actually her mother's and father's child, that she was actually her sister's child. The sister had her out of wedlock, and when she had the baby, it was given to her parents, which were actually my grandma's grandparents. But my grandma never knew that for years and years and years. She went her whole life without ever knowing that, until her sister, who was really her mother, on her dying bed, dying from dementia or something, was a little bit out of her mind, and she would say to my grandma, "I know a secret. I know a secret and you don't know it." And then she told my grandma that she was her mother. So that is the things in the past that people kept secret. And it's such a shame that people felt that they had to hide those things. If it could have just been in the open. Deceit. But it could have just been in the open and accepted, which is a message that we get over and over again, to accept each other for who we are, to accept our mistakes, if my great-grandma, who I never knew was my great-grandma, so she got pregnant when she was a young woman. And it was so looked down upon because she was an unmarried young woman, that when she had that baby, it was passed to her parents. And then my grandma went her whole life thinking that her parents were her parents when they really weren't. And there was something missing in the relationship that she had with her parents. There was a lack of love. And that lack of love continued on to how she was with her own children when she didn't know how to mother her own children. And possibly it was because she wasn't mothered by her own mother. She was mothered by her grandma. So these are the things that I'm talking about that are in our ancestral lineage. And this is just one small little tiny story. And the stories go back, I mean, generation to generation to generation that we've been carrying forward. The only thing that I can say nowadays, that at least nowadays, we live with a little bit more honesty. We don't feel the need to keep so many things in the closet. Things like that anyway. I mean, there are bad things that happen out there that people do still hide, but things like unmarried mothers isn't such a taboo as it used to be. So action taken. It's in our guts. It's in our blood. It's in our DNA. It's part of us. And we're here, part of the contract that we have in our lifetime here is to help clear that, to take care of it and heal it, so that the generations that come after us don't have to deal with it. Victory, bottom of the deck, victory. Okay, from there, where am I going? I'm just going to pick a stone. I have a lot of stories like that I know that, okay, my grandma on my mom's side came from a big Italian family. They immigrated here in the early 1910, around 1910, I think. And my great grandma left Italy, and my great grandpa left Italy. And they didn't necessarily know each other on the boat. But when you got to Ellis Island, single women were not allowed to come into the country unless they had a husband or somebody to vouch for them. And she must have been a very brave woman to get on that boat to come to America by herself. But in order for her to enter the country, she had to have a husband. And so that's how she married my great grandpa. Now, I've heard, of course, I don't remember this man at all. I heard that he was an abusive man with his wife and his children, and that he also dabbled in bootlegging. He made wine, and during the Prohibition time, alcohol was illegal, but he still bootlegged. Anyway, he had two older daughters, my grandma being one of them, and her sister, who was older than her. And I guess he owed some men some money. He had to pay off a debt. And so what did he do? He sold his daughters to these men. And my grandma, I don't know how old she was when she was given to this man to marry. But she ran away at some point. I don't know anything about it because it's a secret skeleton in the closet. I don't know anything about it, but she ran away. But when she met my grandpa and married my grandpa, she was only 17 years old. So she must have been very young when her father gave her to this older man. And her sister, older sister, was also given to a man. And that sister didn't have the strength that my grandma had. That sister ended up choosing to end her life. You know, ancestral crap in the back that we carry forward with us. It's in our blood, it's in our DNA. And there, I mean, all of us have stories like this in our families. It's time to clear it. Time to clear it and take care of it. Get it out of our DNA. So that our future generations can move on clear, pure, and innocent. All right, a stone. it's interesting to watch those shows that come on TV sometime, like Finding Your Roots, and they find out things, like secret things. Somehow they dig so deeply that they find adoptive people's original parents or grandparents, and unwed mothers, who the fathers were when it was always a big secret. Or I mean, it's really interesting, those stories that now, because we do have a way of searching for DNA, that clues are coming back to us, uncovering the past and the skeletons in the closet. Oh, we have here Eliolite, third eye chakra, family. Family. Ancestral lineage, clearing ancestral wounds. What more is there to say? I mean, here we got family right here. I guess the third eye, family, just like I said, it's in our DNA, it's in our guts. Deep down, we carry those things in us. In our contract is to help clear those things for future generations. In yesterday's reading, what it talked about was let love in. Let love in, and just love the situation. Let go of the situations. Forgive the situations. Forgive the stories that we don't know. We don't know the backstories of why these things happened. There is one thing I want to bring up when I talked about my great-grandma from Italy coming over here on the boat by herself and having to marry in order to get into the country. There's a movie that I watched years and years ago, and it was called The Golden Door, and it's in Italian. I couldn't understand a word of it, but I felt compelled to watch this movie, and it was exactly the story of my grandma, basically, that very poor people got on the boat, left Italy, and before you could come in, you had to go through a health check. Everybody had to be healthy, they had to be of sound mind, they couldn't be too old, and a single woman had to be paired up with a man. And it is a very good movie, so if you feel so inspired to watch a movie in Italian, remember The Golden Door. Let's see. I don't know. What kind of stories do you have in your family lineage that you know about? What kind of things in your family? Maybe even things that you don't know about, things that you would like to see healed and cleared. Of course, if we don't know about them, we don't know what those things are that need to be healed and cleared, but we do know in our bodies, in our guts, in our third eye, in our DNA, we do know. We know. Even though we don't know, we know, because we carry it within us. And it's time for us to clear it. So, I don't know if any of this makes any sense to anybody, but there's a story. And if you have a story you'd like to share with me, I'd be very interested in knowing. Okay, I got lots of stories, believe me, and a lot of them are not too pretty from ancestral crap. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed my reading. I don't know if it makes any sense to anybody. I felt compelled to come on here and share your story with me. And if you feel like it, give me a thumbs up. Okay, bye.